End-to-end flow of value, continuous improvement, autonomy and empowerment, organizing around value, sustainable pace, alignment, outcome-oriented goals, energized people, leaders who serve, speed and empiricism, all worthy agility principles, at least I think so. But why should anyone care? Hello and welcome to the Scaling with Agility podcast. My name is Yuval Garrett, and I'm here to talk about stories, ideas, and patterns for moving from agile to agility at scale in your organization. So today we'll talk about where to look other than those principles that I shared. I really believe in the value of these principles. But what I've seen is that while it's much healthier to focus on principles rather than practices, even these principles are a form of how. They don't really answer the why are we doing these things. What you could do is ask, so what happens if we don't really follow this principle a couple of times? And then you will get problems. Problems like miscommunication, duplicated efforts, and decreased effectiveness. Delays and an inability to adapt to changing conditions. Bottlenecks, demotivated employees, and ineffective product development processes. High turnover rates and decreased output quality. Poor team morale, lack of direction, and reduced organizational success. Those problems might resonate more, but even then, we're not there yet. So ask, so what again? And you might get to some juicy, expensive problems. Business leaders, product, technology leaders are really losing sleep over. Problems like falling behind the competitors, losing market share, failing to meet customer expectations, hindered innovation, slow time to market, subpar product quality that sucks, impacting revenue growth. It's becoming more and more expensive to recruit and train people. The team is not cohesive anymore. People are starting to leave. Customers are starting to churn. Productivity is going down. Our margins are dropping. We're unable to achieve our business objectives. And there's a decline in our overall health and profitability. Those are really expensive problems. And now you have a couple of options for what to do with this. Option one is you already know you want to focus on a specific principle. Great. Make sure that you ask yourself, why are we interested in focus on this right now? And make sure that you include such a why now statement that connects it to an expensive problem when you decide to focus on it. And when you decide on measures for improvement on that principle, you also talk about measures of the outcome or the impact if you manage to move the needle on that principle. If you can't really find an expensive problem to connect to, maybe rethink your conviction on that principle. Another option is if you don't know where you want to focus your improvement effort, start with a why conversation where you can explore the expensive problems your organization is currently having, and then try to find principles that would help address that problem. For example, don't tell a senior business director, we're going to use KPIs now. Don't even tell them we're going to work on improving alignment, outcome orientation, and empiricism now. Don't even tell them we're going to use KPIs to improve alignment so that we can deliver better business wins. And don't ask me how I know. Instead, what you might try to do is to facilitate a dialogue around the top expensive problem on their minds. What are they losing sleep over? And then you can try to work back to what are the principles that could help? What could we bring to the table that would help with that expensive problem? And create the connectivity, the connection of why are we thinking about that principle? Why are we thinking that focusing on outcome-oriented goals and measured by outcome KPIs, why are we thinking this would be useful at this point in time? Remember, you want to focus on expensive problems. Use those expensive problems to decide which principles to focus on, and use that to decide which practices to focus on. And if you're struggling with a specific practice right now, walk back to why are you using this practice? Which principle is it serving? And why do you care about that principle? Which expensive problem is the reason that this principle is important for you right now? All right, folks, that's it for today. I'm Yuval Yeret, and I hope you join me again next time for discussions about scaling with agility.